Depends upon how much you are able to earn, how much you are able to sell, and how much you are able to save. These are the three things we look at when we look at livelihood perspective. Now, I have spent more than 10 years at the policy level in looking at diversifying livelihood opportunities in the rural setup. Earlier, we were talking about, livelihoods, microcredit. Now we have large programs. We can always take credit from the civil society sector perspective that the self-help group-led movement has now become National Rural Livelihood Mission. Supporting women with entrepreneurial and livelihood promotion opportunities. Then we have employment guarantee schemes. Then we have skill development sector. So what we realized was in rural context is, now how do we increase the opportunities for making livelihood options and livelihood gains better, so that life must go on. जिंदगी चलना चाहिए और हमेशा चलना चाहिए. So in this context, we are looking at like farm-based opportunities, farmer for farmers and farming community, how the family can be brought together to create multiple opportunities to produce more, to have better marketing avenues and opportunities. Of course, technology has helped a lot. From village to the metropolitan cities, now we are able to market. We are able to establish marketing linkages. So the idea is here: how do we improve? How do we multiply, or how do we improve the livelihood options in a rural understanding? Basically, we do farm activities, and we do multiply that with, we do fortify that with off-farm activities like agro-horticulture activities. In today's context, distributed poultry, piggery, goat rearing, dairying. So various activities have taken place, and we are trying to move families with single livelihood opportunities to multiple livelihood opportunities. And a lot of schemes are available to do that. But over the years, we realized the classic argument is that government doesn't have this capacity to reach out to people and, build strengths for sustainable livelihoods. Whether it is government or whether it is corporates, finally, it is what they look for is good NGOs who can deep dive into rural settings and develop opportunities and link farmers and women with market. This is one. And along with this livelihood promotion, now skill building has skill building to the level where knowledge to practice. And as NGOs, and I represent NGO and NGO community, we believe in, usable, demonstrable skill building, so that they find employment within the local area as well as in outside the local areas, where the knowledge of the skills could be demonstrated, and the skill building has become a huge opportunity now. And when we look at these complexities in urban areas, where we see urban livelihoods, whom are we talking about? Urban livelihoods that NGO mostly talk about lives in urban slums, where our moderator has begun with roti, kapada, makan. These things are not assured at all. Urban livelihoods have a different dimension altogether. Their uncertainty with related to stay, uncertainty with related to opportunities. So what we look at here is, increasing credit access, powering with more skills, linking with technologies. These have opened up a Pandora box actually. Today you see this Procto, when we talk about 15 years ago, 10 years ago, housemaid, and now housemaid activity has become fully automated, technology driven. Large opportunities are being created. And if you look at Aahvaan NGO and these kind of technology driven platforms, these are multiplying opportunities. So The complexities needs to be understood, and the opportunities need to be purpose driven, and market has no emotion. Depends upon how much you are able to earn, how much you are able to sell, and how much you are able to save. These are the three things we look at when we look at livelihood perspective. Thank you so much.